Jess here with Upbeat Life, bringing you our July 2018 budget report. I filmed an August preview video, and then I had a couple updates and whatnot in there, and I set it aside because I was like, it's still a little early, I can, put it together the day after or whatever. And then within a day or two, my boss threw like a ton, like piles and piles of work at me, so completely just disheveled my budget, and in a good way, income went like way up from where I had it at, but it ended up changing everything, so I've just kind of squashed it at this point. So I figure we'll cross that bridge when we get to the end of August, but for now, I will go over what July looked like. Yet another month where everything changed, but everything worked out really good, so I will just dive right in here. And for those wondering, or rather those who have not seen videos in the past, basically this is a budget just for my own income. I am married, we have a son, and so my husband and I still do separate finances and we still do separate budgets. We are optimistic for some job changes for my husband in the new year, so maybe next year we might do a full household budget. That would be amazing. But basically the majority of or rather all, I should say, of the utilities are in his name, so you won't see, electricity, cable, phones, car insurance, and groceries. And then a couple of tiny little odds and ends here and there, but those are the big ones that he pays for while I take care of the mortgage, because that is in my name. So, starting off here, I had set aside $173.18 for to help with income get through, because I had originally expected income to be really low for the month, so I had set aside some money to help me get through. For merchandising with Driveline, I budgeted $355, and I managed to bring in $405.90, so it was $50.90 over there, which is a good start. And then the bar happened. I budgeted $200, and basically where I get that number from is I'm not currently tending bar at the bar. I'm currently waiting tables because that's where the owner needed help. Basically, I help him where he needs help. I don't really have like a set job with him. Basically, everything that he asks for help with, I help with. Which has allowed me to kind of become a jack of all trades and a bit of a Google master, because he's asked me to do all kinds of things that I have no idea how to do. But I am generally expecting to work one night a week, and I expect to make about $50 a night between hourly wages and tips. So I figured, for 4 weeks I'd get about $200. And he had a lot of upheaval in July. He was still trying to figure out how he wanted to handle, waitressing. He has opted to not have waitresses on the weekend because the food business isn't there yet and everything just goes through the bar. But up until that point, I was there quite a few nights. I had 1 week, I think I put in like 30 hours. I was there pretty much every day that he was open that particular week, including a Sunday, which we don't normally do Sundays. So I was there a lot in July, which I was not expecting. So I managed to bring home $756, which was $556 over what I had expected, which was super, super helpful because of some health stuff that came up in June that you might have saw in the June budget. But we'll kind of cross that road as we get a little bit further down in expenses here. And then helping out in the office, which also does end up being some bar things as well as helping out from home, setting up social media, kind of managing social media, getting that started, and even starting to book bands. Again, like I said, I do whatever needs to be done, and a lot of it is stuff that I have zero experience with, but I'm figuring it out as I go. So I was also able to put in quite a few hours at home as well as extra in the office. So basically what that came out to was $266, which was $91 over income there. There was also an extra $150 here, and that ended up being a wash because I helped the owner out with his car dealership, and I needed a bearing replaced in my car. So he charged $150 for the garage time. So we took that out of the income. So basically it was a wash, so I just never put it into income here. So I only budgeted for $903.18 in income, but managed to bring in $1,601.08, which was $697.90 over budget, which was super, super helpful. So getting into expenses for July, I didn't make any additional mortgage payments, so I just made the minimum, $713.44. I budgeted $100 for gas, and I think I did technically go over, but basically at this point what I'm doing with that is I'll pull money for an extra tank of gas out of cash that I have from tips, and then I just don't put the tip money into the budget, I just let it wash that way. And when I put $100, I think I was expecting to not be working as much, and then I worked a whole bunch, so I needed at least like one extra tank of gas. But like I said, it just never went through the budget. It was tip money that I just didn't put in as income, so it was a wash. The cats needed food, so I budgeted $25. It's $24.83. So then getting into the car business, I purchased, my husband sold me the one bearing that we thought needed to be fixed, and this was such a big fiasco. I bought the bearing from my husband for $36.06, so that wasn't in the budget. So that was under there. And like I said, I had my boss's shop fix it, and then turned out, so it was $150 for the shop time, and then it turned out that was the wrong bearing. And so it didn't fix the problem. So it was like $186 for nothing. And then my husband bought the part for the rear bearing, which was just like one big fixture, because they're pressed in bearings, which you can't do that at home. But the rear bearing in this one was basically just a whole drum fixture, and that was easier to do. So my husband was able to buy that, replace that at home, and it was all fixed. So basically the money that I spent on the car was for nothing, and the money that my husband spent for that drum piece unit completely fixed it at home. So whatever. Here I have an expense for Facebook ads. So this goes back to helping with social media and advertising for the bar. I didn't have the financial information to bill the bar for promoting the bar on Facebook and using boosts and promotions and paying for that. So I took that out of my own account until I got it set up under the bar's checking account. So basically what $75 of this up here, this extra income from the office, was a reimbursement for that. So that right there is actually a wash too. But I did decide to put it in here because of the 3-cent difference, and I wanted all my numbers to be exact. I budgeted $20 in miscellaneous. I spent $14.85 on a new pair of leggings, a new pair of jeans, and I think there was like a box of pasta in there or something too. And then coming down here, so my medical bills came in from my endoscopy procedure and whatnot in June. So luckily, with all the income that I was able to bring in July, I was able to pay $538.25 of those medical bills. So basically, I paid, we have an HSA card, so I used that for 2 of the bills, one of which had like $17 left on it, so I paid that out of my account. And then the endoscopy itself was the $370 up here. And then there was one more bill that was like $330 for anesthesia. So I had $150 left, so I put that on the anesthesia bill. And then in August, I will pay the remainder of the anesthesia bill, which will be, I think like $180, something like that, $180, $190. So those will be all gone. Something that I mentioned in my August preview that I didn't end up posting, and I can't remember if I've mentioned it before. If you've watched videos in the past, there was a contribution from RJ into income. I am still receiving that contribution, but I'm no longer putting it into my income, and basically what we're doing with it is using that to pay off his medical bills from December, and I anticipate by using that through the rest of this year, plus a little bit extra from myself starting in September, I anticipate that being paid off by December. So 2018 basically became the year of becoming debt-free and then getting hit with a bunch of medical bills that we'll spend the rest of the year paying off, which is kind of annoying. But I'm also thankful that I'm able to also be putting quite a bit at the mortgage and eliminating our mortgage insurance by the end of the year. Should be. I think that's what I have it projected as, so I think that'll happen. So anyways, getting back into this, my expected expenses were $858.44. I ended up spending $1,502.40. But all for good cause, getting those medical bills paid off. And again, this was a wash. This I got reimbursed for, and this was useless. So I also budgeted $44.74 going into the emergency fund. Again, I wanted to use some of my extra income to get that up as close to 100 as possible, so I was able to put 98.68 into the emergency fund, which was $53.94 more than what I had budgeted for, bringing my emergency fund to $904.55, which is awesome. And I probably shouldn't call it's emergency fund because it's a secondary fund because again, we still have a separate $1,000, baby emergency fund. And then RJ has usually somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3,000 of savings sitting in his account. So between the two of us at this point, we've got just about almost 5,000, which is a good place to be. I should probably start calling this what it is, to be completely honest, because this is going to be a car replacement fund. I drive a 2005 Focus, and it has about 255,000 miles on it, and I love it to death because it takes me where I need to go, and it's trucking along. But I'm trying to be realistic. It's not going to live forever, especially with the fall coming up. I'll be working with Hasbro again, and we do a lot of driving, especially up to an hour, hour and a half away for work. So the plan is for this fund here to be a car replacement fund. The way I had originally planned this was I was putting about $50 a month into it, but I have gone ahead and updated my upcoming budgets, and I'm expecting to up that to 100 because I need to get some money in that account, or rather in that fund. But again, the good thing is that working for a car dealership, once it comes time to replace the car, I should be able to get a reasonable used car for dealership auction prices. So that's going to be a huge help. I'm going to be able to get a pretty reasonable car for a pretty low price. So that's going to be really helpful there. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell, although we're at 13 minutes now, so not the best nutshell, but that was July. Nothing near what I expected, but it all ended up well. I got quite a few things paid and got my emergency fund higher than expected, so all good things. No new debt, no debt at all other than medical bills. I know some people consider the medical bills debt. I kind of don't because they're non-interest bearing, but they are payments that we have to make that we should have paid off here in the next couple months. But we're still debt free and I'm happy about it, and we're still trucking along. And next month, August, is looking absolutely crazy for me for income, so I should be able to put a decent chunk of money onto the mortgage again. So stay tuned. I will be back to let you guys know how August went once I get through it. It's going to be super busy, but we'll make it through. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.